morning, friends. Here we are again in the E92 M3 on our way to work. I kind of like this arrangement where we just set the camera up and just talk about what's going on with lives, our own lives, builds, other people's builds, all the fun stuff. First and foremost, I hope you guys are all doing awesome today. It is Monday. It's always difficult to be super motivated on Mondays for some people. I don't really find that I have that issue. I love Mondays. I'm weird. Not normal to just love Mondays like that, but I've always really enjoyed Mondays. All right, so a couple things on deck. I was never intending to sell this car so quickly, but as I always say, the moment that anyone even entertains the idea of selling a car, it's pretty much already sold. And that has been the case for this one. Today, I've been looking at a bunch of different cars. As you guys know, I've been talking about getting a different daily driver. Porsche Macan, X3M, X4M, X5M, X6M, all these different X cars from BMW. And this is gonna seem super counterintuitive and ass backwards, but I basically found a car that I've been wanting to build for a while, and it's kind of like the perfect one. It's perfectly imperfect, right? So like when I found the 1 Series, it was missing a front end, it was missing a motor, it was all fucked up, and that was kind of like perfectly imperfect for the 1M clone because I was gonna cut it up and I didn't want, you know, a super nice example of that car, of a 135, to just go ahead and like tear it apart. Kind of the same example with this next build. I wanted to build one of these cars for a while. I've been like fantasizing about it and looking at these and trying to find like what the right one was and how much, of course, the whole build would cost. It's going to be comparable to the 1M as far as like cost. I foresee the entire build being maybe 50, 60, 70,000. It could be more depending on how absolutely crazy I want to go with it. But it is going to be very, very cool, and it is going to be different than we've done before. I am going to be cutting the car up, so that will kind of give you an idea as to what I'm doing to it. I'm not gonna say what it is right now. I'm sorry. I know that's gonna piss a lot of you off. I'm not gonna say what it is right now, but I will announce it later this week if the deal goes through. I basically have a deal worked out with the gentleman who has it, who wants this car and I want that car, and so it kind of just like works out. This car has been amazing. Like, you guys already know that I love this car. I've talked about it in multiple videos. I still think the E92 E9X M3s, they're one of the best M3s ever made. This was a really cool example of one. Obviously single hump manual. I've also talked about certain things that I don't love about it. The fact that it doesn't have a carbon roof, and the fact that, you know, I kind of would prefer having DCT now that I've been daily driving this car. But if this were like my weekend car, I would still take the manual over that. The moment that I started putting out into the atmosphere that I was going to be possibly getting another car or selling this car, I had a lot of people hitting me up. They wanted to buy this car. This car has never really been like a project car to me. It's always kind of just been like my fun second car that I've had, and I've turned it into this like daily driver, which has just sort of been the whole thing. So this other car that I'm looking at getting, if the trade goes through, it's not an X series, it's not newer, it's not any of that. It's just a project car that I've wanted for a long time. So I am gonna still need, unfortunately, some sort of daily driver. I mean, I could definitely daily drive this new car, but it would be like very counterintuitive as to like what I wanted and what I'm doing right now. It's kind of like going backwards, so that might tell you, you know, where we're headed with this new car. But it's definitely a platform that I've wanted to dabble in for a while, and it's a engine that I haven't had on the channel yet that I've wanted to dabble in, and it's going to be very cool. I promise you that. It'll be like unlike anything that we've ever seen on this channel before, unlike anything I've ever done. And yeah, it's gonna be dope. If all things go well, by the end of the week, this one will be gone and the new one will be in, and I'll announce what it is and we'll have all that fun. Further news, the reason that I was actually going to make this video today is because of a build. As you guys know, SEMA just went on the past weekend, and like content is everywhere from everyone. And of course, every time all these creators go to SEMA, they all post the exact same car and like what they think about it and all that. I could not go to SEMA this year. I just had way too much on my plate in life, which is fine. I felt like I was pretty much at SEMA with the amount of content I saw at SEMA online, so I don't really feel like I missed a lot, but I would like to go one year. Everyone saw TJ's GT3 M4 build. The track car, the track-inspired GT3 wide-body carbon kit from BMW, which had to be an insane amount of money. Definitely like 6 figures into just the kit alone. It's just nuts. I mean, but those are, coming from someone who loves to build BMWs, those are the sort of builds that like dreams are made of. Like, that is just such a really cool, interesting, out of the box, definitely like experience pushing type of build. You know, like when I did the 1M clone, I really wanted to do something with cutting rear quarters and making it wider because I'd never done that before. And I think it's really cool that other creators are out there doing things that they've never done before, and also giving us content that is different than the majority of cars that we see being built online. So my hat's off to TJ for actually like pushing the envelope and getting that car and, you know, building it with his team of people and going through the paces. The reason that I wanted to really make this video is because the amount of people that I saw hating on his build online really annoyed me. It like icked me as a creator and someone who's part of this community that like loves to build cars and loves to watch others build cars. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of builds that TJ has done where I really haven't tapped in, but I was really into the GT3 build. I thought it was different, I thought it was unique, cool, exciting. I was actually interested in watching the series. Even if he isn't the one doing all the work, it's really cool to see his team of guys kind of tackle a build that is completely different and have to troubleshoot and come up with ways to make that work. Now, obviously, it's a track car, a GT3 inspired build that's going to be on the street. It's not going to be perfect. There are going to be things that there has to be some compromises because it's a street car with a GT3 kit. The wheel fitment, like Stance Boys lost their shit when they saw this build because there was huge gaps, and it's, for the life of me, I could not wrap my head around how people didn't understand that this wasn't going to be some tuck boy, stanced out, wide body car like some of his other builds. Like, he's building it. It's a track inspired car. And just the overall level of just hate and criticizing I saw because he did that kit on that car was just, it was just sort of disappointing in general. Even if you don't like TJ, or, you know, you're not like a big fan of his work, you can still respect the fact that he was trying to do something, did something that a lot of other people would never have like the nuts to take on. You know, a lot of this comes down to money. Like, that is an extremely expensive build that he had to take on. I can't imagine how much he has into that. And he was even saying, like, you know, everything has a price. Like, he's already got someone who's interested in the car, of course. As much as I would love to see him drive the car, at the same time, like, I get it. I'm a creator. Like, this is what it takes to keep moving with the builds and funding the next build. Like, sometimes you do have to unload cars, and that's just the nature of it. I think that, you know, some people who watch these videos, or just YouTube videos of content creators in general, kind of think that there's just warehouses and endless amounts of money that come in to put these cars places, and that's just not it. Like, some cars have to go so you can make room for other cars, and it just depends on which cars those will be and how much money you have into the build, you know, and if it makes sense and how emotionally attached you actually are to the car. I could pretty much tell you that he was never like emotionally attached to that car. It's not like his Supra or his RX-7 or any of those other cars that he built up a long time ago that he's had for a long time that are a little more, I would say, precious to him. So I'm not trying to like white knight TJ here. I'm not trying to be like DR on him. Like, I think TJ has some really cool stuff. I think he has stuff that I'm not really interested in, as I'm sure plenty of other people out there are with mine, you know? But I did just want to say a few words about how really cool I thought that build was, and how really cool it was to watch the step-by-step process as we do as creators, creating those videos for you guys and other people on how to build these cars. I just thought it was a really neat experience watching that, and it was exciting to see someone do something a little bit different than the majority of people who are filming, you know, like bolt-on modifications like I've done plenty of times, you know. So it also is inspiring to see stuff like that. It makes me want to do crazier shit. It makes me want to build crazier cars and really try to push the envelope in terms of like the project cars that I take on. So hats off to him. I think that the car community should really just chill out and not be so toxic to every single person that's building these cars, and really take a look at what they're doing. Like if you're just commenting online like, oh, what a pile of shit, terrible fitment, like lame build, like take a step back, dude, look in your own garage and see what you're building. And like if you're not building anything that's as impressive as that, or something that's on that level, then you need to just sit back, enjoy it. If you don't like it, move along. You know what I'm saying? I know that's just the internet nowadays, and that's the way it goes. I've been a creator for 6 years. I've taken shit constantly. I know how it goes. I'm not saying it's gonna stop because I'm making this video, but I did want to just say something because I felt like it was super disappointing seeing all of that like negativity around his build. It just seemed to be everywhere. Like every post that I saw with him dropping the video, the reveal video, was just surrounded with negativity, and I just couldn't, for the life of me, I can't understand that. Like that's just so lame on so many levels. So I thought it was a really cool car. Does it need air jacks? No. Does it need a GT3 wide body kit? No. But does it make the build just cool and different? Fuck yeah. And that's why you do it. That's why we do those things. And that's why these builds are fun and different and exciting. Another cool thing that I want to talk about real quick that I didn't film is I did get rid of, obviously, the GTS rear seat delete in this car, as well as the M4 GTS fire extinguisher and mount. Really clean setup. Love that setup. And I was able to just manipulate it, modify it a little bit, and I made it fit the 135 perfectly. It was pretty crazy how close it was to fitting without any modifications into the 135 from the E92, but it looks so freaking good, man. I'll throw up some photos of the stuff I did and how the car sits right now. Went out and took some photos the other day. But yeah, it turned out really good. My only gripe with that rear seat delete is those plastic runners, the little angle, the 90-degree angle plastic pieces. They are really light plastic. They end up bunching up quite a bit. Wasn't super stoked about that, so I ended up finding some anodized aluminum 90-degree pieces online, and I ordered those. So I'm converting all the plastic to aluminum, and that should be thick enough and durable enough to not bunch up like the plastic. I think that will be good. I'll be really happy with the interior of that car once I do it. I just have a couple of more trim pieces I need to do, and then we move into a couple of other things that I've got to finish on that car. If you know, you know, but that car is being built for Beamer Invasion. It's going to be sick. I hope to see you there. February, Orlando. I hope to see all you guys there. The 1 Series will be there. But yeah, so that's all I got for you guys right now. Yeah, I think that's it. Damn, can't believe we're getting rid of the E92, man. It's crazy. Like, part of me doesn't want to, but part of me knows that it's inevitable. I'm gonna get rid of it at some point. I kind of knew this was like never gonna be a forever car. I feel like, you know, right now, the cars that I have, if I have them in my possession, they're either a daily driven car that makes sense, or they are a full-on project car. And this car has really kind of been in between that. I also am aware of the market right now with these cars, and they're really good. Really high right now. So I'm gonna strike, man. I'm gonna strike, and I'm gonna get my money out of this thing. That's business, you know what I mean? That is just business, and that's the way it goes sometimes. So we probably, if all things go to plan, probably won't see the E92 M3 anymore on this channel, but that's okay. I know who's buying it, and maybe they'll make some videos on it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.